Hey guys, it's been a couple days since I've come to talk to you. It's really hard for me to put what's going on in here into words. There's just so much that I'm seeing, so much that just connects, so much that it feels like a floodgate has opened in my brain, and it's really hard for me to organize that and to put it into words because I feel like today I was listening to the book of Joshua and I see it's almost like if you take the book of if you take the book of Joshua and you walk backwards all the way to Genesis, it's like we're seeing that, we're seeing these types of things unfold even today. Um, the same land, the same area, the same people. Obviously, the kingdom of Israel borders were a lot broader than the current nation of Israel, but the Bible tells us that you know their borders, the tribes are going to divvy out the land as it pertains to each one of their the tribes are going to divvy out the land according to their tribes. They're going to be in those land areas when Jesus sets a millennial kingdom up here. And I'm watching things unfold, and it's really hard for me to try to put these things into words. I just don't, like a couple of years ago, they found the curse tablet on Mount Ebal. That's where Joshua was, and he read the blessings and the cursings of that were all written in the book of the law back in Joshua 8, chapter 34, verse 34, chapter 8, verse 34, where he after he runs through and takes out all of these different people groups. And it's going to be the same way in the end times. I mean, in the end, all these other people groups are going to come against Israel. And Israel is going to be burying in their land bodies. Like for 7 months, they're going to be continually burying people. And then after that, they'll go out and look for bones and put a marker next to them so that they can be buried in the ground. I mean, that is ahead of us. That's coming. So, and all of the prophets, like, not all of the prophets, I think the kingdom of Israel was still standing when Isaiah was written. But I know that, like, when Jeremiah was written, when Ezekiel was written, when Zephaniah was written, when Zechariah was written, when Daniel was written, the kingdom of Israel wasn't there. So the name Israel has not been attached to the land and hasn't been seen since the fall of the kingdom of Israel in 722 BC. So all of these prophets that wrote these books wrote after the fall of the kingdom of Israel. So when they talk about Israel, these were prophecies for the future. When we saw Israel born in a single day, Isaiah 66 verse 8, she was born in a single day on May 14th, 1948. This is the first time that Israel has been seen since 722 BC as a nation. Like Jeremiah 31, 35 and 36, that as long as the sun, moon, and stars are in the sky, Israel will not cease from being a nation before God forever. She is back in her land. I mean, all of these prophecies are the evidence of the hand of God, and they're continuing to unfold, and I see them unfolding. Like that curse tablet that was found on Mount Ebal. It was found in the 80s, but it was excavated in the 80s, but the tablet itself was thrown into a pile of rubble until 2019. And then they realized it was a curse tablet from the time of Joshua. And it's just very fascinating that the timing is very fascinating, especially given what they're going through with Gaza. But see, they have another war on the other side of them, that they're going to come up like into the Golan Heights and around Jordan, the Jordanian area, and attack Israel from over there, where they call that area Palestine, and Judea and Samaria, and over in the West Bank, and even on the other side of parts of Jordan. You know, you had Ammon, and then you had in the middle you had Edom, and then down below you had Moab. These are in the territory of Jordan. And today Petra is in Edom, which is where many people think that the 144,000 are going to flee. And the more that I read the Bible into the Old Testament, I believe that Edom is going to be where they go, because it says Ammon will be like Sodom and Moab like Gomorrah. So these areas are there's going to be an attack that is on the horizon, and I'm watching the Bible unfold in real time, and I'm understanding the things that I'm reading, and I'm understanding how that's going to play out into the future. And it's really hard for me to come here and make videos sometimes, because I have so much that I have. I don't mean to sound like crazy or just sensationalized. I read the Bible a lot. I stay in it, and so now I'm seeing things that I am recognizing are patterns from history that are happening, and they're happening in the same pattern with the same people in the same area as they did back when, the kingdom of Israel was there, and also the prophets, when they were prophesying these things, they were talking about the future Israel, which is the Israel we see today. But again, her borders are going to be expanded. And she's not as big as she's supposed to be yet. And we got Hezbollah up there in Lebanon. That's an area. We've got parts of Syria. Damascus is supposed to be a ruinous heap. Isaiah 17. Damascus is the oldest continually inhabited city in the world. So we see Gaza supposed to be completely destroyed, where there's no inhabitant there, which obviously these demons keep creating problems. I mean, that peace deal, you cannot make peace with violence. Hamas means violence, and you can't make peace with the devil and expect that to hold up. It just isn't. It's just not gonna. They're going to have to get rid of that, and according to God, it's going to be have no inhabitant, and the seacoast there is going to be for the remnant of the house of Judah. That belongs to Judah. The West Bank also belongs to Judah, and it's interesting because Israel is back. Her name is in the land. That's a fulfillment of God's word. Israel is over 70 years old. This is the first time that has happened. And they've never made it past 70. And you got 70 years. You have, it's a psalm. It's the days of our years are 70. And if by reason of strength they be 80 years, but your days are filled with labor and sorrow, and then it's soon cut off and you fly away. Well, there's 77. And I take that to have literal connotations. I don't think it's just some song that was being sung. I think that it is just like in Psalm 83 when it says, when David is praying and telling God not to keep silent because his enemies have raised up a tumult against him, and they have said, "Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel shall be no more in remembrance." Her name is important. It came directly from God. Israel came directly from the mouth of God. It's not something that mankind named. It is something that God named. It's a name that came from the mouth of God, and it literally means God prevails. I really think that I struggle to talk to you guys. I really do. I struggle to know how to. I can write things down, but I can't get the words out because there's too much going on in my brain, and it starts to shut down when I get in front of a camera. But it also is, there's so much there that it's not organized. It's like I'll see something in the scriptures and I'll think, wow, like when I was reading Joshua today, I saw a lot of the same things that are going to take place in the book of Revelation, or towards the end of time. All of the prophets, the ones that, like I said, Ezekiel and Jeremiah, Israel wasn't in her land. Israel wasn't there. So they were speaking to a future Israel. They were not speaking to anything necessarily current. They were speaking to current things that were going on in their time. But when they start talking about Israel, they're talking about the future of her. And these are things that we're seeing like in our time. And now more than ever, I can almost say with 100% certainty, and I only say almost because I'm leaving that room for my understanding not being God's understanding, but I'm 99% certain that we are going to see the return of Jesus, and our generation is coming. I wish that the people would pipe down on the anti-Semitic behavior, especially given the fact that it's very obvious that Hamas is not going to stop. They're not going to quit. They're not going to disarm. Their name means violence, and violence it's disobedient. It doesn't waver in its disobedience. These are ideologies. A deal with the devil is never going to hold, because this ideology it has nothing to do with Israel. It cannot accept Israel. It will not accept Israel. Their ideologies will not allow that to happen. Even whether, we'll talk about nations and politics and what's good for all the nations, and how do we make money and how do we keep our economies going. This is deeper than that. This is the ideologies. And those ideologies will not allow them to align with Israel. It's just not going to happen. So, I hear the anti-Semitic behavior, and I wish that the world would pipe down on that, but I know where it leads. And it ends badly for the world. It leads to the world coming against Israel, and the world falls. Israel's not going anywhere. I don't care if the whole world attacks Israel. It's not going anywhere. And it does say, I'll bring all nations down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and plead with them there for my heritage and for my namesake, Israel. So I want to wake up the world, and I want to keep letting people know, the Lord, Israel will, it says in Zechariah chapter 13, 8 and 9, I think, that they will look upon him whom they have pierced, and they will mourn for him. They are going to accept him. They are going to call upon the name of the Lord in the pure language that the Lord returned back to them, which is Hebrew, which is only spoken in the nation of Israel. Catholicism is an issue. Catholicism is growing, and people are believing that they have to go to sacraments. They have to go to these things in order to go to the church. You need to go to the throne and the feet of God from wherever you stand. That's where we need to go. You have to be born again, born of the Spirit of God, in order for you to be saved. So the gospel is in 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4. Christ came and he died on the cross for our sins. Now, Christ was a Jew who died fulfilling the law. And then he poured the Spirit of God out on all flesh so that we can be born of the Spirit. We do not do sacraments and religious practices to become one of God's children. It's the deity of Christ and the recognition of the deity of Christ and what he did for us. He rose bodily, he ascended bodily, and the debt was taken to the mercy seat in the kingdom of God, where Jesus currently is. But he's going to set a kingdom here when he comes back, and the world is moving in the direction that it's supposed to in order for God to come back and do it. Do what he's going to do. He's trampling down a winepress upon return. He's not coming back to talk about anything. We see him trampling out a winepress for about 200 miles. The blood comes up to the horse bridle. That's about 5 feet. Maybe taller. I'm about 5 feet, so I probably stand, I'm like 4'11", so I probably stand right up. That is high. That is a lot of people. That's a lot of slain people. These pearl clutchers out here, these Christians that want to say that they were just to be loving and accepting of all things and everything and everyone. And what about the Palestinians? Listen to me. The Lord, during the time of Joshua, commanded him to drive out Canaanites, to drive out Hittites, and they were slain. Some of them, Joshua hung on a tree. And these are not things that are going to be any different when the Lord returns and he drives people out of his own land. And he turns ungodliness away from Jacob, just like he says he's going to do in Romans 11:25-27. He is going to tear up anyone who comes against his land and his people. You talk about separating the wheat and the tare. You talk about one will be taken and the other one will be left in the field. He is going to drive out anyone that's standing against him and his people. I'm sorry, but that is the way that it is. The church was grafted in. We are born again of the Spirit of God so that we can be led in all truth about the nature of God and the love of God and the peace of God and the joy of God and the will of God. It's coming through the Spirit of God. You have to be born again or you're not going to make it. And this is not going to end well for this world, the things that are on the horizon. It's just, you need to come out of Catholicism. It is a dangerous, dangerous doctrine. That is very dangerous. I am watching people. I saw a post earlier that said, praying to the Virgin Mary brings you closer to God. No. Jesus alone is the only one that anyone should be praying to. Christ alone. And it's just becoming really urgent that we tell people that they have to be born again. I guess I feel so compelled to share that so much because I know that there are people that are relying on their priests and the popes and you can't read your own Bible. The priest needs to interpret it for you because he's somehow more divinely able to do so than you are. No, anyone who's living with the Spirit of God within them can read the scriptures, can tell the truth, can open their mouth about the gospel. You don't need to be standing out of pulpit to share the truth with people. And you don't need to be doing religious rituals in order for you to be saved. You need to be born of the Spirit of God. I'm sorry I got excited. I'm just going to go. I'm going to let you guys go. But if I find anything where my brain maybe will put a sentence together, a video, I'll come back. But I'm watching what Hamas is doing, and I'm watching Israel, and they need to just go in there and take care of it. And they're going to keep attacking Israel and coming against Israel, especially if I keep hearing free Palestine, free Palestine. Palestine isn't a thing. It's not a place. It's not a people. It's an ideology, and it's a dangerous one. It stands for death and destruction. Satan, the devil, comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And all of those fit the description of Hamas and the people who voted them in. Are there any good, decent people over there? I have no idea. None of us are good without the Spirit of God. There is none good but God. So I guess it depends on what kind of ideologies they're following, but it doesn't appear like they are following any ideologies that would be acceptant of the fact that Israel's standing there today. So anyways, I'll try to come visit you guys next time. Take care.